The great hall of Valeth Prime buzzed with voices. Alien beings from across the galaxy sat in tall chairs, their different shapes and colors making the room look like a strange rainbow. High Chancellor Vextar stood at the center, his blue skin gleaming under the bright lights. His forearms moved as he spoke, each gesture making his point clear. "The Sol system has been silent for 200 years, Vextar said, his voice echoing through the hall. "Our scouts report no signs of life, no ships, no signals, nothing." The other leaders nodded. Everyone knew the story of the humans and their great war. The stories said they had destroyed themselves fighting over their small yellow sun. Some said meteors had finished what the war started. Others believed a plague had killed them all. But everyone agreed on one thing: the humans were gone. "The system has rare metals," Vextar continued, "enough to power our fleets for 1,000 years. The Confederation Council votes today on who will claim this prize." Commander Rathkor of the Valorian fleet leaned forward in his chair. His red armor caught the light as he spoke. "My ships are ready. We can be there in 1 month. The system will belong to Valeth Prime." The Nexari trade leader, a thin creature with silver skin, made a clicking sound. "The Nexari have the best mining ships. This should be our operation." The Kethran scientist, her green eyes glowing, shook her head. "The Kethrans have the technology to extract the metals safely. We should lead this mission." The three species had ruled the galaxy together for 50 years. They called themselves the Galactic Confederation. 47 star systems obeyed their laws. They had the strongest fleets, the best technology, and the richest worlds. But they still argued about everything. Vextar raised all four arms for silence. "The vote is simple. Who will claim the dead human system, far away in the cold darkness between Earth and its moon?" Commander Taman Park floated in zero gravity. His black uniform had no symbols or marks. The ship around him was invisible to any scanner in the galaxy. He looked at the message on his screen and frowned. "Sir, the transmission is confirmed," said Lieutenant Hyun-Soo Park, his daughter. She was young, but had the same serious eyes as her father. "The Valorians are coming." Taemin turned to face the other people in the room. Dr. So-Young Kim stood near the wall, her white coat clean and neat. She was one of the smartest people alive, but she always looked worried. Captain Jinwoo Lee sat in a corner, his pilot gear ready for action. His hands never stopped moving, always checking his equipment. "How long do we have?" Taemin asked. 1 month, Jinwoo said. "Maybe less if they push their engines hard." Dr. Kim stepped forward. "Commander, we need to think about this carefully. These aliens don't know we exist. We could contact them, explain that humans are still alive, maybe avoid a fight." Admiral Do-hyun Kim, her older brother, shook his head. "They think we're dead, so young. They want to strip our system for parts. You think they'll just say sorry and leave?" The room fell quiet. Everyone knew the Admiral was right. The Confederation had rules about dead systems. If no one lived there, anyone could take what they wanted. But the Sol system wasn't dead. It was just very, very quiet. "Show me the report again," Taemin said. The wall screen lit up with images from the Confederation meeting. They watched Vextar point to a map of the Sol system. Red marks showed where they wanted to put their mining stations. One mark was right over Earth. "They want to drain our oceans," Jinwoo said, his voice angry. "Use the water for fuel. And strip the asteroid belt," added Admiral Kim. "They'll take everything." Dr. Kim looked at the screen with sad eyes. "They don't know we rebuilt. They don't know about the colonies, the hidden cities, the new technology. To them, we're just ghosts." Taemin stood silent for a long time. Outside the window, Earth looked blue and beautiful. 200 years ago, it had been burned and broken. Wars had destroyed the great cities. Billions had died. The survivors had gone underground, to the moon, to the asteroids. They had hidden and healed and grown strong again. But they had stayed hidden. The galaxy thought humans were extinct. It was safer that way. "Until now, sir," Hyun-Soo said quietly. "What are your orders?" Taemin looked at each person in the room. His daughter ready to fight. Dr. Kim hoping for peace. Admiral Kim planning for war. Captain Lee eager to fly. These people trusted him to make the right choice. He thought about the children playing in the underground cities of Earth. He thought about the farms on the moon, the factories in the asteroid belt, the research stations hidden in the outer planets. Millions of humans lived and worked in secret, building a better future. The Confederation wanted to destroy all of that for some metal and water. "Contact the other fleet commanders," Taemin said. His voice was calm but firm. Tell them to prepare their ships. All of them, sir? Admiral Kim asked. All of them. Dr. Kim looked worried. Commander, maybe we should try talking first. We will talk, Taemin said. But first we need to get their attention. He turned to Captain Lee. How long to reach the scout ship?
6 hours in the stealth fighter? Go, watch them.
Learn everything you can about their ships, their weapons, their plans. Jinwoo nodded and headed for the door. He stopped and looked back. Sir, what do I do if they see me? Taemin's eyes were cold and hard. They won't. After Jinwoo left, the room was quiet again. Dr. Kim still looked worried. Taemin, if we do this, there's no going back. The whole galaxy will know we exist. Good, Taemin said. It's time they remembered who we are. He walked to the window and looked at Earth. Somewhere down there in the deep cities, people were living their lives. They worked and laughed and loved, safe because the galaxy had forgotten them. Soon that safety would be gone. But humans had learned many things in 200 years of hiding. They had learned to be patient. They had learned to be smart. And they had learned to be ready. The Confederation thought they were coming to rob a grave. Instead, they were about to wake a sleeping giant. Captain Jinwoo Lee moved through space like a shadow. His ship, the Soul's Pride, was smaller than most fighters but invisible to any scanner. The stealth technology wrapped around his vessel like a blanket, hiding him from the universe. He had been flying for 3 days following the Valorian fleet as they traveled toward Earth. The alien ships were huge and ugly. Their hulls were dark red, covered in spikes and weapons. Jinwoo counted 50 vessels in the advance fleet. Each one was 10 times bigger than his tiny fighter. But size didn't matter if they couldn't see him coming. He opened a channel to the hidden base. This is Soul's Pride. I have eyes on the target. Admiral Do-Hyun Kim's voice came through the speaker. Report, Captain. 50 ships, just like the intel said. They're moving slow, taking their time. I think they really believe no one is home. Any idea what they're planning? Jinwoo checked his scanners. The alien ships were spread out in a loose formation. No scouts ahead, no guards on the sides. They flew like they owned the space around them. They're not being careful, Jinwoo said. No scouting ships, no advance warning systems. It's like they're going to a picnic. Back on the hidden lunar base, Admiral Kim shared the report with his sister. Dr. So-Young Kim listened with a heavy heart. She had spent years studying the aliens through their transmissions. She knew they weren't evil, just arrogant. They had ruled the galaxy for so long that they couldn't imagine anyone challenging them. Do-Hyun, we need to understand something, she said. These aliens don't know what happened here. They have stories about the great solar wars, but they're all wrong. The Admiral nodded. Tell me. Dr. Kim activated a wall screen. Images appeared showing Earth as it was 300 years ago. Cities covered the continents. Ships filled the skies. Humans had spread across their solar system, building colonies and space stations. Back then we were young and stupid, she said. We fought wars over everything. Resources, territory, politics. The wars got bigger and bigger until we were using weapons that could crack planets. The images changed, showing the devastation. Cities burning, continents scarred, billions dead. The galaxy watched us destroy ourselves. They saw our wars and decided we were too dangerous to contact. They let us fight until we couldn't fight anymore. But we didn't all die, the Admiral said. No, the survivors went underground. To the moon, to Mars, to the asteroid belt. We hid while Earth healed, and while we hid, we learned. Engineer Hae-Young Choi looked up from her workstation. She was young, only 29, but she had designed most of the technology that kept humanity hidden. Her fingers danced over the controls as she spoke. We learned that size doesn't matter, she said. The aliens build big ships because they want to show off. We build small ships that can't be seen or caught. She brought up designs on her screen. Sleek human vessels that looked more like artwork than weapons. No massive hulls or threatening spikes. Just clean lines and hidden power. We learned that loud doesn't mean strong, she continued. The aliens broadcast everything they do. We listen and stay quiet. Admiral Kim studied the designs. What about weapons? We learned that the best weapon is the one your enemy doesn't know exists, Hae-Young said with a smile. Meanwhile, Jinwoo was getting closer to the alien fleet. He could see the flagship now, a massive vessel covered in armor and guns. The name was written in alien script across its hull, Death's Edge, Commander Rathkor's personal ship. Jinwoo activated his listening devices. Human technology could break any alien code in seconds. Soon he was hearing their conversations. "Commander, our sensors show the system ahead," an alien voice said. "No signs of life as expected." "Good," came Rathkor's reply. "How long until we reach the third planet?" 6 more days at current speed." "Excellent. Begin scanning for mineral deposits. I want to know where to place the mining stations." Jinwoo's hands tightened on his controls. They were talking about his home like it was an empty rock, like the millions of humans living there didn't exist. He opened another channel. "Soul's Pride to base. They're planning mining operations. 6 days out from Earth." Commander Taemin Park's voice was calm. "Understood. Return to base for briefing. Sir, request permission to stay and gather more intelligence." "Negative. We need you here for the next phase." Jinwoo wanted to argue, but he knew better. He turned his ship around and began the journey home. As he flew away from the alien fleet, he thought about his family on Earth. His parents lived in New Seoul, one of the underground cities. They grew food in hydroponic gardens and never saw the sky. But they were safe. Soon that might change. Back on the lunar base, Commander Park gathered his senior staff. The room was full of people who had spent their lives preparing for this moment. They had trained in secret, built weapons in hidden factories, and planned for the day when humanity would have to defend itself again. "The fleet will arrive in 6 days," Park said. "Are we ready?" Admiral Kim nodded. 200 ships are standing by, all equipped with stealth drives and quantum weapons. "Our pilots?" Park asked. "Ready, sir. They've been training their whole lives for this." Engineer Choi spoke up. "Sir, there's something else. Our long-range sensors have detected more alien ships heading this way." "A lot more," Park frowned. "How many?" "At least 500. Maybe more. It looks like the whole Confederation is coming." The room fell silent. 200 human ships against 500 alien vessels. On paper, it didn't look good. But the humans had advantages the aliens couldn't imagine. Dr. Kim looked worried. "Taemin, maybe it's not too late for diplomacy. We could reveal ourselves, explain the situation." "And then what?" Park asked. "They see us as a threat to their power. They've ruled the galaxy for 50 years without any competition. Do you think they'll just welcome us back?" "We have to try." Park was quiet for a moment. He thought about the choice facing humanity. Stay hidden and lose their home, or reveal themselves and risk everything. "So young, I understand your concerns. But look at this from their perspective. They come to rob what they think is a dead system, and suddenly they find an advanced human civilization. What do you think they'll do?" Dr. Kim had no answer. "They'll see us as a threat," Park continued. "They'll try to destroy us before we can challenge their power. Diplomacy only works between equals." Engineer Choi looked up from her station. "Sir, I'm picking up a transmission from the alien fleet. They're sending a message to their homeworlds." "What does it say?" "They're reporting that the system looks empty, just as expected. They're requesting permission to begin full mining operations." Park nodded. "And the response?" "Permission granted. They're also sending reinforcements. A full battle fleet." Admiral Kim leaned forward. "How long until the reinforcements arrive?" 2 weeks, maybe less." Park stood up and walked to the window. Earth hung in space below them, blue and beautiful and peaceful. Soon it would be surrounded by alien ships bent on tearing it apart. "Sir," Lieutenant Hyun-Soo Park said quietly, "what are your orders?" Her father looked at her with proud but sad eyes. She was so young, but she would have to fight in the war that was coming. They all would. "Prepare the fleet," he said. "In 6 days we make first contact. And if they don't listen to reason?" Dr. Kim asked. Park's voice was cold as space. "Then we remind them why the galaxy feared us in the first place." Commander Rathkor stood on the bridge of his flagship, looking at the blue planet ahead. Earth hung in space like a jewel, its oceans reflecting the light of the yellow sun. It was beautiful, but beauty meant nothing to a Valorian warrior. He saw only resources to be taken. "Scan the planet," he ordered. "I want to know what's down there." His sensor officer, a younger Valorian with green markings on his armor, worked at his station. "Sir, the scans show water, minerals, and organic matter. No signs of civilization. No energy readings. The planet appears dead." "Perfect," Rathkor said. "Begin mining operations. Set up extraction platforms over the oceans. We'll drain this world dry." What the Valorians didn't know was that Captain Jinwoo Lee was watching them. His stealth ship, Soul's Pride, hung invisible just a few kilometers away. Human technology was so far ahead of alien scanners that Jinwoo could have painted his ship bright yellow, and they still wouldn't see him. Jinwoo opened a channel to the human fleet. This is Soul's Pride. Target is in position. Repeat. Target is in position. Hidden throughout the solar system, 200 human ships received the signal. They had been waiting in the shadow of asteroids, behind moons, and in the cold darkness between planets. Now they began to move. Lieutenant Hyun-Soo Park led a team of Marines on the assault ship Busan's Thunder. Her soldiers wore black armor that could phase through solid matter. It was technology the aliens had never seen before, based on quantum physics that they barely understood. Remember, she told her team, we disable, not destroy. We want prisoners, not corpses. Her soldiers nodded. They had trained for this mission their entire lives. Many of them had never seen an alien before, but they knew what to do. On the lunar base, Commander Taemin Park watched the battle begin on his screens. His daughter was leading the first assault. His heart was heavy, but his mind was clear. This was the moment humanity had been preparing for. All ships, this is command, he said into his microphone. Execute Operation Daybreak. Across the solar system, human ships began to decloak. They appeared from nowhere, their stealth fields dropping like invisible curtains. The effect was designed to shock and confuse. One moment the aliens were alone in empty space. The next they were surrounded. On the Valorian flagship, alarms began screaming. Sensor Officer Kethvar stared at his displays in disbelief. Sir, I'm reading multiple contacts. They just appeared from nowhere. How many? Rathkor demanded. I count 200 ships, sir. They're surrounding the fleet. Rathkor's 4 eyes went wide. 200 ships was impossible. The system was supposed to be dead. Are you certain? Yes, sir. And sir, they don't match any design in our databases. Before Rathkor could respond, a new voice filled the bridge. It was calm, clear, and speaking in perfect Valorian. Attention, Valorian fleet. This is Dr. So-Young Kim of the Human Defense Force. You have entered sovereign human territory without permission. Human, Rathkor whispered. Everyone in the galaxy knew the stories. Humans were extinct. They had destroyed themselves centuries ago. You will power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded, Dr. Kim continued. Comply immediately or we will be forced to take action. Rathakor's shock turned to anger. Humans were supposed to be dead. Even if some had survived, they couldn't possibly challenge the might of the Valorian fleet. This is Commander Rathkor of the Galactic Confederation. You are ordered to stand down immediately. There was a pause. Then Dr. Kim's voice returned, sadder but still calm. I was hoping you would be reasonable. Begin the boarding operations. That's when Lieutenant Park and her Marines struck. They used quantum tunneling to pass through the Valorian ship's hull like it was made of air. One moment the alien bridge was secure. The next, human soldiers in black armor were standing among them. The Valorians reached for their weapons, but the humans were faster. Stun weapons dropped the aliens before they could react. Non-lethal, but effective. In less than 30 seconds, the entire bridge crew was unconscious except for Commander Rathkor. Don't move, Lieutenant Park said, her weapon aimed at the alien commander. She spoke in perfect Valorian, though she had learned the language from intercepted transmissions. Rathkor looked at the young human woman. She was small compared to a Valorian warrior, but her eyes were hard and confident. This is impossible. Humans are extinct. Do I look extinct to you? Park asked. Across the fleet, the same scene was playing out on every Valorian ship. Human Marines appeared from nowhere, disabled the crews, and took control. The aliens never had a chance to fight back. Chief Scientist Min-Ho Lee watched from his laboratory ship. He was Captain Jin-Woo Lee's uncle, a brilliant man who had spent his life developing new weapons. But these weren't weapons of destruction. They were weapons of precision. Quantum tunneling successful on all targets, he reported. No alien casualties. All ships secured. Commander Park nodded with satisfaction. Excellent work. Bring the command crew to Station Alpha for questioning. Station Alpha was a secret human facility hidden in the asteroid belt. The captured Valorians were taken there in human transport ships that moved faster than anything in their fleet. The aliens were treated well, given food, medical care, and comfortable quarters. But they were also very clearly prisoners. Dr. Kim interviewed Commander Rathkor personally. The alien warrior sat across from her in a simple white room. His red armor had been taken away and he wore plain clothes. Without his weapons and armor, he looked smaller, less threatening. I don't understand, Rathkor said. Our records show that humans destroyed themselves in a great war. We came close, Dr. Kim admitted. We fought terrible wars. Billions died. Our planet was badly damaged. But we didn't all die. Then why did you disappear? Why didn't you contact the galaxy? Dr. Kim was quiet for a moment. Would you have welcomed us? A species that had just proven it could destroy worlds? We decided it was better to heal in private. Rathkor thought about this. The Confederation had rules about dangerous species. They isolated or eliminated threats to galactic peace. If humans had revealed themselves after their wars, the result might have been extermination. What do you want with us? He asked. Information, Dr. Kim said. We've been watching the Confederation for 200 years. We know about the slavery, the oppression, the wars you hide from your own people. We want to know why. The galaxy needs order, Rathkor said automatically. The Confederation provides stability. For who? Your own people? Or everyone? Rathkor had no answer for that. While Dr. Kim questioned the prisoners, urgent messages were flying across Confederation space. The Valorian fleet had sent one last transmission before being captured. Under attack by unknown force. Possibly human. Send reinforcements. On Valeth Prime, High Chancellor Vextar read the message with disbelief. Humans attacking Valorian ships? It was impossible. But the evidence was there. 50 ships gone without a trace. Prepare the war fleet, he ordered. All available ships. If humans have somehow survived, we will finish what their own wars started. The Chancellor didn't know that human ships were already watching his world. Captain Lee had followed the Valorian communications back to their source. He hung invisible in orbit around Valeth Prime, recording everything. Command, this is Sol's Pride, he reported. They're mobilizing everything they have. Looks like 1,000 ships. Commander Park received the report with calm acceptance. Understood. Return to base. Sir, there's something else. I'm picking up transmissions to the other Confederation worlds. They're calling for a joint fleet. How many ships total? Best guess? 3,000. Maybe more. Park closed the channel and looked at his staff. 3,000 alien ships against 200 human vessels. The odds were worse than he had expected. Engineer Ha-Young Choi looked up from her station. Sir, we could use the quantum weapons. Turn their own space against them. Not yet, Park said. We tried diplomacy first. Admiral Kim shook his head. Taemin, they're not going to listen. They see us as a threat to their power. Maybe. But we have to try. Park turned to Dr. Kim. So Young, prepare a message to the Confederation Council. Tell them we want to talk. And if they refuse. Park looked out the window at Earth, peaceful and blue below them. Soon it would be surrounded by alien warships bent on its destruction. But humanity had learned much in 200 years of hiding. They had learned patience, wisdom, and terrible new ways to fight. If they refuse, he said quietly, then we show them what humans learned while they thought we were dead. Ambassador Yoonji Song stepped off her transport ship onto Nexus Prime. The neutral station was a massive structure that floated between star systems, serving as a meeting place for different species. She had never been here before, but she walked with confidence. Her silver diplomatic robes caught the light as she moved through corridors filled with aliens. The news of humanity's return had spread across the galaxy like fire. Every species was talking about it. Some were excited. Others were terrified. The Confederation Council had called an emergency meeting, and they had reluctantly agreed to let one human representative attend. Ambassador Song was 42 years old and had been preparing for this moment her entire life. She had studied every alien language, learned their customs, and memorized their laws. Now she would speak for all of humanity. The council chamber was huge, with representatives from 47 different worlds. Ambassador Song took her place at a small table in the center. Around her, alien beings whispered and stared. Many had never seen a human before. High Chancellor Vextar banged his staff for silence. This emergency session will come to order. We are here to discuss the human situation. Ambassador Song stood up. Thank you for agreeing to meet with me. I bring greetings from the people of Earth and our colonies. Colonies. The Nexari trade leader clicked his mandibles in surprise. How many humans are there? Several million, Song replied calmly. We have settlements throughout our solar system. The chamber erupted in shocked whispers. Everyone had believed humans were extinct or nearly so. Vextar slammed his staff again. Silence. Human. Explain why your people attacked our ships. Your ships entered our territory without permission, Song said. They came to strip our worlds for resources. We defended ourselves. The Sol system was declared dead space. the Catherine representative said, her green eyes flashing. No life signs, no transmissions. You cannot claim territory you abandoned. Ambassador Song smiled slightly. We never abandoned it. We simply chose to be quiet. She activated a small device and holographic images filled the chamber. The aliens gasped as they saw human cities hidden underground, space stations concealed in asteroid fields, and ships that could turn invisible at will. For 200 years, we have watched and listened, Song continued. We know about your slave markets on Rigel 7. We know about the prison camps on Nexari Prime. We know about the genocide you committed on the Zentari homeworld. The chamber fell silent. These were the Confederation's darkest secrets, known only to their highest leaders. Vextar's blue skin turned darker. Those are classified operations. Not from us, Song said. We see everything. While Ambassador Song spoke at Nexus Prime, Captain Jinwoo Lee was leading a rescue mission on the other side of the galaxy. His team of 6 stealth ships had traveled to Rigel 7, where the Confederation kept thousands of slaves in hidden facilities. The planet looked peaceful from orbit. Green continents, blue oceans, white clouds. But Jinwoo's scanners showed the truth. Underground complexes where captured beings were forced to work in terrible conditions. Remember, we go in quiet, Jinwoo told his team. No shooting unless they shoot first. His ships descended through the atmosphere, invisible to all sensors. They landed near the largest slave compound, a massive underground facility guarded by Valorian soldiers. General Sung Ho Yoon was waiting for them. He was 49 years old and had fought in the liberation wars on Earth decades ago. His job was to plan ground operations, and he was very good at it. 30 guards, 400 prisoners, he reported. The facility has 3 levels. We can teleport directly to the prison areas. Teleportation was another human technology that aliens couldn't match. It let human soldiers appear anywhere instantly, bypassing all defenses. Do it, Jinwoo ordered. The rescue operation began. Human soldiers materialized inside the prison complex, stunning guards before they could sound alarms. Other humans appeared in the cell blocks, using special tools to open any lock in seconds. The prisoners were mostly Zentari, a peaceful species that the Confederation had nearly destroyed. They looked like tall, thin humans with silver skin and large eyes. When they saw the humans, many began to cry. You're safe now, General Yoon told them in their own language. We're taking you home. The entire operation took less than 10 minutes. 400 slaves were teleported to human ships and taken to safety. The guards were left unconscious but unharmed. The only sign that anything had happened was a message painted on the wall in glowing letters. The humans remember. Similar operations were happening across the galaxy. Human ships appeared at secret Confederation facilities, freed prisoners, and vanished again. Each time, they left the same message. Back on Nexus Prime, Ambassador Song was presenting evidence of the Confederation's crimes. Holographic displays showed slave markets, prison camps, and mass graves. The other species representatives looked uncomfortable. Some had suspected these things existed, but seeing proof was different. These operations violate every law of civilized space, Song said. Yet the Confederation continues them in secret. That's enough, Vextar shouted. We will not be lectured by a species that destroyed their own world. We nearly destroyed ourselves, Song admitted. But we learned from our mistakes. What's your excuse? The Catherine representative leaned forward. What do you want from us? Change, Song said simply. End the slavery. Free the prisoners. Stop the oppression. And if we refuse? Song's voice became very quiet. Then we will make the changes ourselves. As if to prove her point, reports began coming in from across the galaxy. Confederation facilities were being hit by invisible attackers. Slaves were being freed. Guards were being left unconscious with strange messages. High Chancellor Vextar received the reports with growing anger. How are they doing this? How are they everywhere at once? His military advisor, a scarred Valorian general, shook his head. Unknown, sir. Our sensors can't detect their ships. They appear from nowhere, complete their missions, and vanish. How many facilities have been hit? 17 so far, sir. And the number is growing. Vextar turned to Ambassador Song. Call off your attacks immediately. I can't, Song said calmly. I'm just a diplomat. I have no authority over military operations. Then contact whoever does. Song smiled. I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, there is no central command giving orders. Every human captain makes their own decisions about what targets to hit. This was partly true. Human ships did operate independently, but they all followed the same basic plan: free the oppressed, protect the innocent, and show the galaxy that the Confederation's crimes would no longer be tolerated. The Nexari representative clicked nervously. "Ambassador, surely we can reach some agreement." "I hope so," Song said. "But first you need to understand something. We're not asking for permission. We're informing you of what's going to happen." "You threaten us?" Vextar demanded. "No," Song said. "We're offering you a choice. You can work with us to reform the Confederation peacefully, or you can fight us and lose everything. You have 200 ships," the Kethran said. "We have thousands." "Numbers don't matter when your enemy can be anywhere at any time," Song replied. "How do you fight an enemy you can't see?" As if summoned by her words, Captain Lee's voice came through the chamber's communication system. Every being in the room could hear him clearly. "Nexus Prime, this is Captain Lee of the Human Defense Force. We have just completed liberation operations on 12 worlds. 4,000 beings have been freed from Confederation slavery. We're transmitting the locations and evidence to every news service in the galaxy." The chamber erupted in chaos. The smaller species representatives began shouting questions. Some demanded to know why they hadn't been told about the slave operations. Others accused the Confederation of war crimes. Vexitar stood up, his forearms shaking with rage. "This meeting is over. Security, arrest the human." But Ambassador Song was no longer there. She had simply vanished as if she had never existed. Her voice came from the speakers. "Chancellor, I suggest you think carefully about your next move. Human ships are watching every Confederation world. We know where your families live. We know where your leaders sleep. We can be anywhere, anytime." The chamber fell silent. "But we're not monsters," Song continued. "We don't want to hurt innocent people. We just want the oppression to stop. You have 48 hours to begin releasing all political prisoners and shutting down the slave operations. After that, we take more direct action." "What kind of direct action?" Vextar whispered. "The kind that will make your homeworld shake." The transmission ended, leaving the council in stunned silence. Outside the station, human ships watched from the darkness, invisible and waiting. The war was about to begin.